Hallå! Det här är Radio Locash, program 9. Babyman programledaren som vanligt. Vi har precis avverkat en hel sommar på The Base Medis. Tack till alla snälla vakter. Med oss i studion idag har vi Alexandra från en duo från Berlin som heter Sick Girls. Och hon är här och vi ska prata lite om Berlin och deras stora fester de har haft där och om hur det är att starta upp en stor scen, om man vilka svårigheter och möjligheter finns om man är tjej, vad man har mött och så vidare. Men ni får höra. Alexandra, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks a lot.
It's your first time in Stockholm?
It's my first time in Stockholm.
You're quite excited about it?
I am very excited about it.
You're staying 2 days?
I'm staying 2 days, and I already saw a lot of the city, and I love it.
So what parts did you see?
I think it's called Södermalm.
Yes,
and
correct.
I had a really nice tour guide today
Yeah.
who showed me like lots of shops and nice views, nice sights, and it was very much like some parts of Berlin actually.
Yeah. Did you bought anything?
Yes, I bought a scarf.
A scarf?
Yeah.
Okay. How does it look?
I always buy scarves.
Okay.
It looks nice. I needed something brown to match a certain jacket, and I find a nice brown scarf.
Did you remember the store?
Yeah. It's called...
That's a classic boutique sportif scarf that Alexandra bought.
Exactly. I love classics.
Yeah. So, you and your friend, who's not here at the moment, have a duo called Sick Girls. Could you start telling us when it started and why?
Yeah, there was no real reason. We started in the August of 2004, just because we knew each other. I was the booker of a very well-known techno club called Tresor.
Yeah.
And Johanna was the booker of a very well-known electronic club called WMF.
Yep.
And so one day we said, hey, let's just play some records in a bar together, just for the fun of it. And since we were both bookers, it was quite easy to find a slot for us. So I said, hey, come on to Tresor, and we DJ at the tiny bar. There was a tiny bar floor, so we DJed there. And right after the first 5-10 tracks, we were totally excited about it, because we kind of found the match that we were looking for. We had the exactly...
Did you play techno or?
No, not at all techno. So that was our main reason.
What did you play?
We played a lot of dancehall, a lot of stuff like The Bug or War 21, everything kind of like aggressive dancehall-y tracks with a certain beat. Cyback as well, things like 2004. These were the things that were different to electronic music, but it wasn't so advanced as it is now. But it was like the beginning of the sound, and also the beginning of grime. We were both getting into grime at that time, and so for us it was so exciting to find somebody else who had the same taste, because the whole of Berlin was into techno, and it was really difficult to go out and hear something new. So the only chance to hear something new was to do it yourself.
So you already worked as bookers in 2 very known places. In Sweden, that's not so common that you have women who works at bookers. Do you think that's a common problem? Because in Stockholm we usually discuss why there isn't enough female DJs and bookers and club promoters and
Oh, okay. Actually, I think
is it the situation in Berlin?
No, the situation in Berlin or Germany is a bit different. You have a lot of male promoters or club owners, but the people behind the scenes are mostly women. So you have a lot of female club bookers all around the country, and and a lot of female DJs as well. But when I say a lot of, it's still a small amount.
Yeah.
But compared to other cities, you have a lot of female DJs, especially in Berlin.
Yeah.
But it's still, let's say, maybe 8 or 10% of all DJs are maybe female DJs. And I mean, the thing is that I don't know why this actually is like this. But if you look at at art, at music scene, at whatever scene, the statistics are nearly everywhere the same. You have like 80% males and only 20% females, something like this.
Would you say that it's harder for you? Was harder for you in Berlin?
No, I wouldn't say it was harder for us because
because it feels like in like other like European cities that's more like dance music oriented. You find more women doing clubs and DJing and all that stuff from like a city like Stockholm, who's like just beginning to absorb dance music. I mean, it's so much bigger in Berlin or Barcelona or London.
Yeah.
And in that music, you can really feel that you have a lot of promoters that's females.
Yeah. I mean, for us in Berlin, the hardest part actually was to turn from promoters or bookers to DJs, because it's strange if you work for many years like behind the scenes and work for presenting artists and try to make everything fine for the DJ, and then to be a DJ yourself. It's a bit strange because then people might think, oh, now they want to be DJs. They might look at you a bit. Like suspicious. What are they doing there? And they just want to pull the strings, and they have already they know many people, so they will get bookings anyway. Blah blah blah. This kind of like bad mouthing. But then again, we because we didn't play techno, nobody could say anything against it because we couldn't use our contacts, because that was all techno and electronic music contacts. So we had to start from scratch, and most of the people who we worked with for a long time didn't even understand what we were doing. So it was, for them, it was quite exotic, and they didn't really took us serious anyway. But they couldn't say anything against it because we were no competition for them, and so everything was like fine. And then at the same time, because we started to establish this kind of mixing up styles, creating new genres in Berlin, we also started building a scene for this, and I think that was at the same time as this kind of music scene actually took off internationally. So you had like DJ teams or artists like with the same taste in music all around the world, because I think it's always like this, that a new style is just in the air kind of thing, and then it just emerges everywhere. And so I think we were just the Berlin element to this new general universal style.
But your club got like a really unique position really fast in Europe, I would say. Like, people who was into this sort of music, I mean, I know your club for like ages.
You mean Tresor?
No, the club that you had like at Cafe Moscow.
Oh,
like
WMF.
Yeah, like all the grime events and so on.
Yeah. There was, I mean, the WMF is actually a club that opened 1991. And they did like brilliant work in electronic music, but also from the beginning they were always open for new styles. So they were also the first ones to present drum and bass back in the days. And so for them it was kind of a logical development to take grime into the program. There is this guy Garrett who owns the WMF, who's a very good friend of us, and he's just so open and into new stuff, that it was just like a wonderful opportunity for us all together to present these. We had 2 new nights. One was Grime Time, which he did, and the other one is Revolution Number 5, which is our party, Johanna's and my party. So from
whose was Grime Time?
Grime Time is Garrett's.
Yeah, okay.
And his girlfriend Sasha, who's also the singer of Jacuzzi, a very, very good band from Berlin, who are also doing this kind of different electronic music meets hip-hop meets whatever, style. And so the club really was like the cradle of this new style for Berlin. And since it's closed for a year now or even more, it was kind of hard for us to carry on. And
why was that?
When it closed,
yeah,
I can't even really say this. I think it's 2007. It must have been in the beginning.
Yeah, but why was it hard for you to continue?
Oh, because first of all, you have to find a good place, right? And then if you don't have a club as your backing, then it's always more difficult with financing also the parties. Because if you have a club with like regular nights with, let's say, 2 open nights a week, then if a party doesn't work so well, another night could compensate for this. But if you only can do one-nighters and one-off parties, each party has to be successful enough to finance, and it's really difficult for this style of music, because if you present grime or if you present music that we like to present, it is always somebody from the UK or from the US, and it will always be more than just the one DJ that you got when you have techno or something. You always have to invite a crew. Because usually you have a DJ and 2 or even 3 or 4 MCs for this kind of music. And so
was
it's
it harder for you? Do you think that's harder to do that kind of shows in Berlin for that kind of music rather than doing like a techno club from the perspective of the owner of the clubs and so on?
First, it was really hard because nobody knew anything about it. But then, as grime, 2004 to 2005 was a lot in the media. Also, other promoters actually were looking, what are they doing, and maybe we can buy them into our club, and this what was happening then. So then we went to another club called 103 Club, where we then continued our revolution parties, and Grime Time went to Cafe Moscow and did some more parties there. But they actually had to stop then doing parties because everybody was too busy. Sasha had too much to do with her band, and Garrett had to go on finding new clubs or new stuff to do with his business. So that was really sad that they stopped now. But still, I think.
Do you still have clubs, like regulars?
Right now, we found a new space where we had 2 parties already, and the next one will be in September, in a couple of weeks. But it's not like a club; it's more like an event space, which we think is fine, because if you get too connected to a club that is not really your home club, then it's sometimes difficult, and so. We really hope that we will be able to open WMF again somewhere else. So we're still, Garrett is still looking for new spaces. But until then, we will just do the parties in different clubs. And the next party that we do, we will do like a family party with Revolution Number 5 and Grime Time together. So everybody has a floor, and so it will be like, and the lineup will also be similar to one of our, like the first party ever, and so this will be a big, I hope, a big family thing with Kano from the UK and Jacuzzi Live and lots of other people, and so I hope this will turn out well. well.
Could you say, like, if you would say like five ground stones that your parties usually have, what would that be?
You mean the
Yeah, like
acts that we
five elements, or like
Oh, okay.
that's special
Okay.
for a sick girl's party.
Okay, yeah. Okay, first of all, it is the mixture of music. This is the most important thing, because we never ever only present one style. We
Yeah.
always present at least two styles, maybe even more, and we always try to have our favorites from different styles. So usually you have a DJ or DJ team that we really like. Then we always have a live act, because we just really think it's very important to really present what's out there.
Yeah.
And the live act will either be grimy, or it will be electronic hip hop or something like this. And so that's one really important thing. Next thing is we try to also support female artists. So we always try to have a kind of healthy balance. But would never ever present a night where we would say this is an all-female night, because we hate this, because we think you should never try to make this exotic or something. We just try to have a normal balance. So whenever we find somebody female who's actually good, then we really try to include this artist into our parties. So that's important as well. Then the people that we like to attract, we really like it when the crowd is very mixed. So our parties are not about showing your latest jeans or whatever, or showing your latest sneakers or something. It's really about having new experiences and dancing together and having fun together.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that we really achieved. We have fun parties where people are really dancing and really where they see and hear something new. So this is a very, very important aspect as well. We don't want to like if you go for the 100th time to see a minimal party at Panorama Bar, yeah, okay, it might be nice if you're a fan of it, but you won't go home with a feeling
surprised.
Like, oh my goodness, I heard something new tonight.
Yeah.
Something moved me. Something was really, and this is something that's our main aim. Really, we want to really to shake the people. They should go home and should say, I heard something tonight that I've never heard before, and I loved it. Something like this is really the main thing. And then
You don't have to say five.
okay, but there's one more. I think is that actually we always present ourselves as well, and I mean this is like the heart of the party. We It's just so we just love so much what we're doing that the people will really just feel this, and then it's always like a family thing, and it's always like a real connection between the dance floor and us, and I think this is also something very important why people actually come to our parties, because they also want to see all the guests, but they also love to hear our sets as well, because then they feel connected somehow. And I mean, I don't want to show off now or something. It's just something that just happens. It's just this fun thing again, and this is just what we love about doing this.
So how is the club scene in Berlin right now, you would say? What has happened? Like,
there is, I think, the club scene is very stable, I would say. You have the at the moment the big three, which I would say is Panorama Bar and Berghain, which is the same club kind of. Weekend and Watergate. I think these are like the major clubs for electronic music and techno right now. And Then you have Tresor again, which
That's a classic.
That's a classic, and they reopened, but maybe it wasn't really necessary. I mean, sometimes you don't have to live your own legend on and on forever. Sometimes it's just more healthy just to stop. But my opinion.
Yeah.
And then you have a kind of new scene, which is again just trying to occupy new spaces, like smaller parties, more exclusive nights, for, I would say, like the latest generation, which is from 19 to 25 years maybe.
Yeah.
And
what are they called? Like
yeah, there's one steady club called Picnic, which is really nice at the moment. I DJed there a while ago, and it was really, really good because the people were much more open than I thought. Because it's a real Berlin Mitte club and very small, so lots of people have to stand outside and don't get in, and everybody wants to, this kind of hype. And I was in doubt if they actually would react to the music, because it wasn't common for them. But then they really liked it, and it was a cool party. And then you have like smaller parties, like there's one party called Youth Club, which is really good right now. This is really like more than like see and be seen kind of thing, but the music is also really different from different genres. It's sometimes a bit like our styles, but more into a let's say cheesy in a good way direction, like this kind of, we do Ibiza meets Miami Vice meets they establish the bad taste in a fashion way, which is nice. And there are some more of those parties emerging. I think this is a good thing. But then you have the normal clubs, like there are so many clubs. Sometimes it's just you can't really think. I think also very important for Berlin was the Rio Club, which is closed by now. They were the ones responsible for Electroclash when it was really when it was really hitting. And then lately, shortly before they closed, they were also responsible, let's say, for the more guitar side of what you call new rave. So they did the first Klaxons concert or show in Berlin. So they were always more into the guitar side of electronic music, whilst we come from the hip hop side of it, so it's kind of like we kind of try to. Sometimes we had the same artists, but from different directions.
Yeah.
And I hope that they will open again, because they did a good club for Berlin.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Alexandra. Hope to see you again in Stockholm.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm sure you see me again in Stockholm. It's lovely.
Ska vi se här då.